So this IGTV is going to be looking at a question that was asking about any tips on how to deal with food guilt. First thing that comes to mind when I think about food guilt is, where will we start? Apart from the fact that we have been conditioned, both men and women, to think about our food groups in certain ways, where we can often be demonizing and holding other groups on a pedestal. There are lots of different areas to kind of explore. So I suppose, as I'm often practicing here, not always successfully, but to simplify it, guilt is a luxury we cannot afford. Now, I wouldn't mind with food guilt if it worked. If you thought by responding with harsh terminology, look at what you've done, I'm not even going to verbalize all the words that we use and the names that we call ourselves. When we do something that we shouldn't have done, we have eaten something that we shouldn't have eaten, too much, too little, not enough of this. Keep it simple. Guilt is a motivation that very quickly runs out. If you want to holistically and effectively enhance your level of self-care and both physically, mentally and emotionally nurture yourself from a place of love as opposed to a place of fear, guilt is never going to work. So you're never going to achieve balance from motivating yourself or speaking to yourself out of a place of you shouldn't have done that, next time you must. And this is where this kind of like, okay, I'll start again tomorrow or start again tomorrow. So and one thing is about demonizing food groups, okay, that we are less if we eat certain things and we are more if we eat certain things. So this constant back and forth about how good and bad that we are. So really the main tips on dealing with food guilt is actually, when these thoughts, we are not our thoughts, we are the awareness and we are the observer. So if you are working on eliminating guilt from the relationship that you are having with nutrition and your body, it's another form. This is the thing about bringing it back to the relationship with food and the body. Like any other relationship, if somebody is guilting you and wanting to make you feel bad, this is highlighting that we need a lot of support and reassurance, that we don't have to be so hard on ourselves. Okay, I ate something that maybe doesn't make me feel great now. I feel maybe I ate maybe a little more than my body wanted, or I said I was going to do something and something worked out differently. Okay, stop sign. When the guilt comes in, you shouldn't have, look at this X, Y, and Z. And as I said, I'm not even going to verbalize the words that we can call ourselves when the guilt is really activated. You're not your thoughts. Practice actually like a bully in a playground. If you want to eliminate the bully, you starve it of attention. The problem with our thinking is that we so often, and I've mentioned this so much in the Calling It Out podcast, we take our thinking way too seriously. That is just a thought. You shouldn't have ate that. You shouldn't have done this. X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. The food police comes in, the prison officer comes in and starts berating us for whatever we have done wrong this time. Stop sign. Delete it. Delete. As Marie would often say, okay, delete. And even better, ignore it. That is the bully. If you are in a relationship and you are being guilted and being told about what you should or you shouldn't have done, is this a healthy way? Is this actually a healthy relationship that I want to be in? No. Is this making me feel heavy, or is this making me feel light? And if it's making me feel heavy, it's a conditioned thought. It's coming from the outside, it's coming from the bully, it's coming from that little virus, that not good enough syndrome. You don't have to listen to it. You are the awareness and the observer. You are not your thinking. So ultimately, that is one of the simplest tips that I would recommend when dealing with food guilt. Practice not taking it seriously. Now, if you want to start treating your body where you're maybe in a position where actually, okay, that I don't feel good about what I was given to my body, okay? If you want effective change, it's not going to come from punishment and judgment. Okay, that is going to be short-lived. You'll get a little kind of spurt. Okay, great. Yes, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to eat more of that, and it's going to be great. These are like these knee-jerk reactions where you're like, okay, I can be better. Look, and it turns into like a little show. If you want effective change, it's like, okay, that wasn't ideal. Okay, what way do I want to actually be looking after my body? What does my body need more of? And what do I need to do next to actually practice that? Well, I keep going to maybe the self-destruction, or I keep going to abuse the body and giving it things that it doesn't want. Okay, well, that's just information. That doesn't give us information about your worth or your value as a person. What is it that's coming up for me here? What's the blockage? What's the obstacle here? What could I maybe let go of that would make it easier for me to support my body, show up for my body from a place of love as opposed to a place of fear? The guilt won't work.